We're given that the complex number w is in the form of a plus ib, but I need to re-express this so that w can be in terms of purely just a. That means I need to find a relationship between b and a, and to do that I'm going to make use of the fact that w squared over w conjugate is purely imaginary. And w squared over w conjugate is also a plus ib squared divided by a minus ib. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to reorganize this so that it can become the real portion plus I, the imaginary portion. And to do that, I'm going to multiply the numerator and the denominator by the conjugate. So the conjugate of the denominator, so a plus ib and a plus ib here, the numerator will be a plus ib to the power of 3, and the denominator will be a squared plus b squared. For the numerator, I'm going to expand it, and I'm going to expand it by using the binomial expansion. So it is a to the power of 3, 3a squared of ib, and 3a of ib squared, and ib to the power of 3. And this is going to be divided by a squared plus b squared. And this is a to the power of 3, then this is plus 3i of a squared b. I square is minus 1, so minus 3ab squared, and I to the power of 3 is minus I, so minus ib to the power of 3. And this is going to be divided by a squared plus b squared, and I'm going to reorganize the numerator so that it is in terms of the real portion and the imaginary portion for the numerator. So a to the power of 3 minus 3ab squared, this I'm going to group it together, plus I of the other portion is going to be this, which is 3a squared b minus b to the power of 3. And this is going to be divided by a squared plus b squared, which means that w squared over w conjugate can be re-expressed as a to the power of 3 minus 3ab squared divided by a squared plus b squared, plus I of 3a squared b minus b to the power of 3 divided by a squared plus b squared. And according to the question, this is purely imaginary. If it is purely imaginary, that means w squared divided by w conjugate is just this portion. That means this portion here, the real portion, is going to be equal to 0. And that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to let the real portion of w squared divided by w conjugate to be equal to 0, which means that a to the power 3 minus 3ab squared divided by a squared plus b squared, this is going to be equal to 0. So a cubed minus 3ab squared, this is 0. If I were to factorize out a, I have a squared minus 3b squared is equal to 0 here. And since the question says that a is a non-zero real number, that means a squared minus 3b squared has to be equal to 0. So b squared is going to be a squared over 3. This tells me that b is going to be plus or minus a over square root of 3. And now we have b in terms of a, that is why w is going to be equal to a plus ib, and that is plus or minus I of a over square root of 3.